Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the Captain's Chat. My name is Joe Delagrave. I'm one of the captains for USA Wheelchair Rugby. Today I'm joined by Eric Chase, who is a former national team member, one of my good buddies and longtime friends, and so one of my favorite teammates that I've had on USAWR. And I'm super excited to talk to him today about life, about rugby, and kind of everything in between. So we'll get him rocking and rolling here. As always, enjoy your comments. So jump on with your comments for Eric and I, and we'll be able to talk through today's show. Eric, what's up, man?
Hey, hello. Good to see you.
Hey, you too. How's everything going?
Going well.
Yeah. You in the at-home office, or are you?
No, I'm at work.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Good deal.
So, yeah, doing good. Work's good. Family's great. Can't complain.
Awesome. How old are the kids now?
Emmett just turned 6, and my daughter, Avalee, will be 3 in November. So she's grown up quick.
Yeah. The 3-year-old. What is Emmett in? Is it virtual school? Are they going back to school? What are they doing?
They gave us a choice. He's in kindergarten this year, and he's going face-to-face currently. So everything's going well so far. So
yeah. My daughter is 4K, and they're face-to-face, and then the boys are virtual. There's no choice right now for those guys, so it's virtual.
Okay.
But the 4K, they're like, it's either in person or nothing because
yeah, it's tough.
That age. Yeah, absolutely. So how's the summer been going? Like, how was the summer? You guys, it was kind of different summer, obviously, or was it a little bit of the same with a good Michigan summer? Or how was that?
Yeah, no, it was a great summer for us up here. Had really good weather. Obviously, we're all in the same thing right now, but in regards to where I'm at, summer was fun, busy, a lot of home projects with the kids and around the house. So we just built a new house last year, so a lot of projects and the honey-do list, and the list goes on. But it's been good.
Yeah. Homeowning, man, it never ends. It seems like even if like you guys building a brand new house and it's like, oh, I gotta undo this.
Yeah,
living in the Midwest, it's like it's never ending in the yard too.
Never. Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't end. Well, so for the listeners that don't know you, let's hear the stats. Let's hear how long you've been playing wheelchair rugby. When were you on the national team, that type of thing. What's all that about?
Okay. I got hurt in 2003 in a dirt bike accident. I was going to be a junior in high school. Finished my high school career. I was an athlete in high school before my accident, and after I got hurt, there was really no sports outlets for me to take advantage of until I started going to therapy full time. That's where the Michigan Storm came and did a demo at my rehab facility.
Yeah.
And going to college at that time, I really wasn't interested in joining a full-time sport or committing to that at that point. But after I started college, I went to Michigan State in 2006. I really didn't jump in to the USQRA club ball squad until 2008. That was my first season. So this year will be my 12th season. Played for a couple of years, and then I tried out for Team Force in 2011. I guess I forgot to say I'm a 2.0. I get just the same as you.
Yeah.
And Team Force for a year, then tried out for the national team in 2012, leading up to London, which was a great experience, obviously, being a part of all those guys, you including that. And national squad from 2012 to 2014. So.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, 2013 was one of the best years ever. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I'm curious. So when you first were injured, did you want to be a part of like any like disabled sport type thing? Like, or you kind of like, this is just.
Yeah, there wasn't. I live, in a rural community. I don't live close to any big cities where most of the sports
Right.
are played. So,
Right.
at that point, I was still involved with my high school basketball and football team. You know, being on a disabled sports team, I didn't know anybody that was, or I wasn't really interested in that until I watched Murder Ball, like most of us did at that time of our lives,
Yeah.
which drew me to this sport. So um, I guess that's where I was at.
Yeah, so you watch Murder Ball, you're drawn to the sport. You're like, oh, this looks. They made it look really cool. Obviously, Scott and Mark and those guys. They definitely made it look cool. So you watch that, and you're like, all right, let me find something close to Michigan. Let me see what's up. Was that where you looked online and found some guys that were going to,
Yeah,
or how'd that work?
shit. I was kind of headhunted by Nick Long and Dave Mengen to play the sport. Obviously, they were trying to recruit guys for the
Yeah.
team. Um, at that point, the forums and blogs online, getting interested in different people, different
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
I guess that's what drew me to the sport, and also going to watch. Maybe you were there. At Delta College in Michigan, they held a sectional where that's the first time I seen Chuck Aoki play.
So
So
that
in
had to be
2008,
what, 2007, 2008, something like that.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. In
2007.
2007, 8.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was definitely there. It was a big crowd. It was Chuck, myself, like twice as big, and then and the Michigan boys. They had Brian was playing,
Scott,
Scott, yeah,
Joffer.
Joffer, yep,
Yeah,
Joffer, yeah,
yeah.
and it was what we thought was a fast back and forth game, like, and came down the wire a lot of times with Michigan. So Dave would lose his head, a couple Nick, and I was yeah. And then who's the who's the guy that ended up passing away? He
Oh,
always wore bike
yeah.
short,
Yep.
bike pants.
Yep. Jeff Coopy.
Jeff. Yep.
Yep.
Koopy was he
Great guy.
was one that always he was the catheter plea. He'd get mad at us if we peed in the gym over in the corner. But that was great time for sure. So you saw that and I guess just like no matter where you've gone in the sport, I think like that time aspect of like finding a sport, finding something you're passionate about, finding something that helps you figure out your purpose with your new body, your new life in a wheelchair. That time seems to be probably the most life-changing for for people with disabilities, for people that have gone through similar injuries that we have. You break your neck when you're in your junior high school. For me, it was the year after high school. In the sport, like you kind of forget about it sometimes, I think too. But with our club teams, you have new people come in, and so you get to do that for someone else. But like, how important is that rehabilitative aspect of wheelchair rugby?
I think that was one of your questions for me, as well as what did you learn? A part of what was the most important thing you learned on your journey? And it was learning from others.
Yeah,
Taping up, learning how to transfer. You fall out of your chair. What are you going to do? How do you get back in your chair? Learning from teammates and friends.
yeah,
4 years post injury, you think you got it figured out at that time, but shoot, I didn't. I learned so much more through that time period of my life than I did 4 years leading up to that. So, extremely important to become a sponge and learn from others, grow as a individual. At that point in your life, with a disability was huge for me. So,
yeah. Being around a group of guys and girls, and especially if like they're lower functioning than you, and they're doing way more than you, you're like, oh crap, not. They'll let you know about it.
Sure.
And so it's almost like learning because of baptism by fire. You're getting thrown into it, and you're
Yeah.
and you're going. So yeah, crazy for sure. What's your take on the state of rugby right now? Like what's rugby like for you guys in Michigan? What do you think the state of rugby is? Murder Ball's 15 years ago now.
Wow.
15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
How do you think the state of wheelchair rugby is?
So for me on the club ball side, obviously being a coach and player, and dealing what we've had to since March, we've gotten together a couple times, Zoom calls, catching up. We're on group texts. We've got together and pushed once. We're going again this week to push as well outside on a trail. Just trying to stay active and get the guys back together. But the state of wheelchair rugby, I was on the podcast with Dave Mengen and Mike and Chris Cook over the weekend for the bent behind the axle or something, and trying to get feedback on what's going to happen with us as the club ball side. I don't know, man. There was some take on that possibly we'll get started at the first of the year, maybe for some small tournaments, but I don't know. I guess my take on it is they'll probably call it for the year and maybe get started back up early summer next year. I'm not sure, but it's tough.
Hey, Sammy. Thanks for the shout out. You spelled my name wrong, but that's cool. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's like what Newbie said. Low pointer Chad yells at me. Exactly. That's why I have a little bit of function now. I'm like, we used to play parkour.
That's those days.
Yeah, Mark, absolutely. Staying active and pushing is huge. Yeah, exactly, Sammy. Gosh. There it is. So I guess, yeah, like, and who knows what's going to happen. Like, honestly, like with COVID and playing again this year, who knows? I think, like, I guess more along the lines for the question would be like, where do you think the game's grown from, like the days of murder ball till now, either in club ball, both club ball, internationally within the U.S. Like, how can it get better? Where's it grown to, and then how can it grow even more?
I think since murder ball came out, obviously the number of athletes in the United States and the world has grown. The function has gotten better and faster. You're seeing more women in the sport. You're seeing different diversities from people from different cities and different segments of the United States join up. I think as a whole, I think we've gotten better at communication with each other. I think that's been huge too. You'll be able to talk and text or do one of these, across the world to learn from other players, where back in the day you wouldn't be able to do that. I think we're getting better at relating to each other and different issues that we all go through. I think like on my club ball team, we got linked up with the Detroit Rugby Club. Same thing with you guys on the national team. We're being connected in different sectors within our sport and able-bodied sports. I think that's really cool. So that's, to me, I think is the biggest thing that's grown in the past 15 years is where the exposure is bigger too. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a great point, especially with you guys with the Detroit Rugby Club and being able to get hooked up with able bodies out there and them see the sport, the awareness that organically provides is huge. And then the other piece that you talked about is that communication is easier, like going online, finding groups. Obviously, I don't know if you're a part of a lot of the spinal cord injury groups on Facebook, but there's a lot of them out there that, there's so many people out there, and the opportunities to get plugged in are exponentially more and greater than they used to be. But I think honestly, like, that is a call to action within our community, within the wheelchair rugby community in the States, is that there are people out there and we need to do a better job of reaching out. I think it's easy to get kind of sidetracked. It's easy to get kind of like tunnel visioned in on, for me, family and rugby and work and you kind of tunnel vision on that. But there's like so many people out there, and the opportunities for people to get back into the sport or get into the sport and then have them get their lives changed through being able to connect with sports is huge. So definitely a call to action for our community, and a great point. Newbie says, "What up, PFD?"
What up?
PFD in the house.
I
Good
knew that was
job.
going to come
Oh,
up.
yeah. There he is.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Um, no. So let's get to know you a little bit. So 2012, you were on the training squad for London, right? You and Melton.
Mhm.
And so back then we didn't even know you very well. I'm like, the dude from Michigan that had a wingspan like the length of Wisconsin. Like it's just longer than ever. And then in 2013 we're able to just have one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in the sport. And then that year, tell us a little about that year for you, like kind of going through that year and being able to travel to Australia and things like that. Like
Man,
what did you do for you?
yeah. Uh, you look back at it, yeah, 2013 was a great year. Coming into the sport where you got a lot of guys that are about to be ready to retire. Will, Seth, Chance, the list goes on. Trying to who's going to fill their spots, but also coming after the loss in London. 2013 was like the rebound year. I thought we were out there to win, and we did. I think we came back with 3 gold medals that year. Um, Denmark, Australia, and then we had the Lakeshore Challenge. Uh, it was for me becoming really good friends with you, with the whole team, and the group of guys that we traveled with. Um, the camaraderie aspect of that, and
Yeah.
also putting on that USA jersey for the first time. There's no other feeling like it. But for me, from the coaching aspect, I was trying to get developed and be coached. I came from nothing. I didn't have a
Yeah.
full-time coach. I didn't travel like you did to Phoenix to get coaching and get the experience.
Yeah.
I came from the sticks in Michigan to to the spotlight to show up. And at that time, I was trying to become obviously better as a 2, but also, you remember me and Ernie were in low point chairs half the time.
Yep.
That was tough. Obviously, being in a high point chair for the majority of my career, then to be thrown into a low point chair that didn't fit me and learning that aspect of the game, that was tough. Um, but training and traveling with the team to those places, especially Australia, that was probably my favorite. Um, playing outside for the first time.
Yeah.
What a great experience that was. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, it was that aspect of the sport, and it was like right after Will had jumped in a picking chair for national championships against
Yep.
Chuck, Minnesota, and that was like the big thing of like let's stick some 2s in picking chairs. Internationally, they did it as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, and man, like I think it's pretty crazy to think about people it's I don't know how to explain it for like able bodies, but it's one of the hardest things to do in our sport. Like go from an offensive chair to a defensive chair and just
Yeah.
still be able to play good offense. But yeah, definitely, one of those deals that uh, isn't easy. Not for sure. I think that year probably we had a lot of fun. We were young, so we had a lot of fun. But I think culture, it's kind of where it started to change a little bit, and
Mhm.
you could have fun, but also do your business on the court and go out there and accomplish your goals. How important is culture for rugby? What's your take on it? I think for me, especially the last 4 years, it's something that I've been trying to implement as best as I can as a leader. And I think across the board with our coach, with team manager, everyone involved, culture is something that we've tried to grow uh,
Mhm.
from the ground up. What's your take on it?
Yeah, since I left the team, there's been a huge increase, I think, in culture exposure that you guys have infiltrated into the team. Um, your sports psychology, you've got the team manager now, you've got nutrition training. You guys are getting a lot of input to make your game better, but also with culture comes with learning from what other teams are doing. We're able to see more or less what Australia and Japan and GB are doing on and off the court more so than ever, and how they're doing things. Kansas, it's a big circle, but we're able to see different countries bringing the level up. And we're right there with them, obviously. But the culture aspect, I think, has definitely grown the last 4 years. That has been big and notice for me.
Yeah. What about a new player that comes in? Like a new player that comes into you're coaching now, comes into Detroit, or come to Detroit, or a new player that wants to get on Team USA, and you played at that high level. What do you say to them?
If they are committed.
Hey, you Frenchie. I was just O line. I was never really a tight end. I was like a glorified tackle. They let go up for routes. I never got the ball, but that was easy.
I guess from a new player's perspective, you can kind of feel out a new player. Are they willing to go to the extra mile to get where they want to go and play at that high level? If they do, you're a good example, Joe. You traveled and took the family to Phoenix. You went to coaching. You went to get developed. I guess coaching, mentoring, listening to others, growing as an individual. Definitely, if you're hungry for it, you definitely got to go the extra mile to get that coaching and that mentorship, and also game experience. Game experience is huge. You just can't stay in the Heartland or the Atlantic section and not never travel outside those couple states and feel like you're gonna make it. You've got to travel. You've got to go across, go abroad, or go out west.
Hey, what's this guy talking about? Tiny takes in the house.
That's my new 3 from Detroit. That's his nickname, Tiny Tanks.
Tiny Tanks.
Yeah. Small bladder.
I was thinking shirt. That makes a lot of sense. So what you're saying is exposure and getting the experience of exposure and everything as far as that goes. Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that people are able to they're able to get to that highest level without getting that exposure? Or is it pretty impossible?
I think you can. Obviously, equipment is a huge factor into that. You definitely have to get your equipment and also dialed in. You can't take your Vesco chair without ever adjusting anything and getting to that point. But that's where you learn from others too. But you can watch game film. You can get coached virtually or go to clinics. But I think you have to do something more or less than just stay put. You've got to travel. You've got to get coached or become developed by someone other than just learn from yourself. So,
it definitely helped me. There's my first year in Phoenix, or even before that when we were playing, when Lakeshore was really good in the Heartland. They just come up to Michigan or come up to Chicago and just destroy everyone.
Yep.
But you learned a lot from it.
Of course.
And it's okay, I need to get that one. And you think that you're pretty good, and then you go and get your maybe I'm not. I think that's definitely a big one. And then also what you talked about before, the opportunity to communicate is, everyone knows how to work Zoom now. Everyone knows how to get online, face to face, talk. And so reaching out to people, I know most people on the national team would say, hey, I'd love to talk to you, or reaching out to, I know Gumby is very visible now with his coaching series, and being able to teach people and have people learn. It seems like it's a lot easier now than before. So let me transition a little bit, talk a little bit about being a dad. We've had quite a few dads in the show.
We do.
How do you think finding rugby and that trend? And I know it's not a direct correlation between I found rugby and therefore I'm a good dad, but how did that help you kind of figure out some things in your own life before meeting your wife, who who I believe you met playing rugby as well. Like she was on the team.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. Like go out and find wheelchair rugby. You might find a wife. But like, so tell us a little bit about that, about that experience of being a dad and kind of the confidence that rugby gave you to be able to.
Oh yeah.
Form your kids' life.
Perfect. I became a dad the year that I got cut from the national team. But leading up to that, obviously, we all got to thank our rugby girlfriends and wives to allow us to play the sport and to train and travel and all those examples. But, at that point in your life when you become a dad and you're juggling training, work, practices, being gone to Lakeshore for 2.5 weeks, obviously who's taking care of the home front, who's your schedule, being confident and not only taking care of your kids when you do have them, but also being confident, like what you said. I think that's huge. Being on that stage on the USA team, obviously, those are big shoes that you're in at that point. But also when you come home, you've got to manage everything else, whether it's work or the wife. But I think it's so rewarding becoming a dad and also playing this sport as well, because you're just like everybody else at that point. And to have your kids see you play, cheering you on. I've seen your kids wear your jerseys. I mean, how cool is that? Things like that are very rewarding, but also help you grow as an individual, as a person, just like we all do. But since 2013 till now, I think we all have kind of grown up a little bit, but we've also become, I think, better family members and also team members as well.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought Newbie would have a kid now?
I know. Right. Oh, he's a good dad.
So what are you up to now? Like, what's life look like now? You're not playing on the highest level anymore, but you're coaching.
Yep.
Like, what's rugby in your life mean to you now? Even though like you have a career, a family, kids, how's that fitting still?
It's definitely before when I was training full time and on the national team. That was my life. Going every other weekend or 2 or 3 times a month. Now, obviously, it's more or less a hobby for me. I like to stay in shape. I like the coaching aspect of it, mentoring new players to the game, and teaching the game. A lot of rules have changed in the last couple of years. The speed's gotten more intense. You try to keep up with that, but it's an adrenaline rush for me now. I think I go out there and those point-for-point games are more common now than they used to be. I guess the games that I've been playing, we're trying to find better teams to play against to help our new players to get better. Putting them down. I guess what rewards me is to put players that have rode the bench for a couple years into those situations, and to watch them grow as individuals. That's been fun to watch. But the hobby aspect, it's hard to do that full time and work full time. And obviously, we built a house and with kids, to juggle all those at the same time is tough. But I still enjoy it whenever I get a chance. So
get out there, be a weekend warrior.
Yeah.
Yep. Scream at some people. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Crack every once in a while.
Guys weekend. Yeah, for sure.
And that's fun too. Getting together with the guys is fun. The rugby games and leading up to that, we're definitely look forward to that. But also, outside of the rugby gym and doing stuff with friends is definitely fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's needed. And I know I miss it right now with the summer being how it was. For sure. What do you think your favorite moment of club rugby has been?
Probably in 2016. think we were in Houston that year for sectionals. I think you guys were gone, the national team.
Yeah, we're in France.
France, yeah, yep. That's the year Division II. We came right down to the line, we lost to Brooks by a couple points for the Division II championship. But that's the year I got Athlete of the Year. That was pretty cool. So pretty rewarding. After the fact that I was on the national team for a couple years and playing with a chip on my shoulder. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Did you play against Scott in that champ? That was Division II, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Losing his mind. Yeah, for sure. What about favorite moment for USA?
Like I kind of said earlier, in 2013, winning 3 gold medals after coming up short in London. Australia was probably the best experience that I've ever had.
Yeah, where do you keep your boomerang?
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's tucked away somewhere. I don't have a wall yet like you do, but
Well, yeah.
yeah.
I just built it for COVID purposes.
Yeah. That was playing on that court at the base of that cathedral church. For the first time, Fox Sports was there. First time playing Riley Bat, playing outside in sunglasses. The group of guys
we had eye black too.
Yeah. Just going to Australia and being at that level in my career, that was really rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, let's any final thoughts, any tips for any athletes trying to come up, make it to the next level, or make it to Division II level, or make it to the Division I level, or whatever their goals or aspirations are? Any tips for them?
I guess my tips would be for those guys and girls would be to reach out to more people that are just in your group circle. Nobody's going to turn you away if you want more experience or development. If you're not getting that on your club ball side, if your coach is not offering that to you, reach out to the people that are at that level, and they're going to be more than willing to help, lend a hand, or meet you at a tournament, walk through your chair setup with you, give you details to help you become a better athlete. I guess that would be my tip, to reach out. Don't just sit and just wait for it to come to you. You got to go to them. So
yeah, it's tough to learn without asking questions.
It is.
All right. Well, hey, let's do a little rapid fire wrap up as we close it out. Get to know Eric Chase, little AKA PFD, little rapid fire wrap up here. If you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy? Oh, yeah, it's lunchtime in Michigan. Come on now.
Ooh, I would say smoked pulled pork sandwich.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a smoker at the house?
I don't, but we're looking into them. So
I just got one.
Did you?
They're amazing. They're so good. Yeah.
Nice.
Even Joe can learn how to smoke things. Anyway, what about gas station? Like on the road, you're driving to a rugby tournament. What are you getting at the gas station?
Good question. Probably a Gatorade, beef jerky, and some type of chocolate. That's probably my go-to.
Okay. All right. If you could be any animal, what would you be?
Ooh, an eagle.
Yeah. What is one thing that you have on your bucket list?
Probably to travel out west for at least a month. That'd probably be my bucket list, to sightsee all the mountains. And
is that like with the family?
Yeah, it would be fun to do it with the family. It'd be tough with kids, but I'd have to go with somebody else probably to be on the family, just to see everything. But I mean, that's probably what interests me the most, is to go out there and explore.
Absolutely. So much to explore. Absolutely. What's the what was your favorite summer activity this summer?
Um, hmm. We go up north a lot, northern Michigan, to my family's cabin, playing with the kids in the water, getting out of my chair and swimming around with them. That's probably my favorite activity. That's a lot of
That's
fun.
awesome. That's awesome. Are you a morning or night person?
Ooh, probably a night person.
All right. Describe yourself in 3 words. P F
F.
E.
Perfectly. What was that?
Fun.
Fun, delightful. Yeah.
All right.
No, I'd probably. Oh, I don't know. Fun, easy to talk to, and I don't know, Joe. Delightful.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's do one more. All right. If you can get a yacht, let's say you just bought a yacht, what are you gonna call it?
Ooh. Man, I heard you ask this to somebody else, and I was going to come up with a good name, but I can't think of it now. Dang it. Oh, probably Dinger.
Yeah. Love it. Dang it. Dang it.
Dinger.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, if you want more information, everyone, go over to usawr.org for more information on the USA Wheelchair Rugby National Team. Over to usqra.org for more information on the USWRA League. It just switched its name from US Quad Rugby Association to US Wheelchair Rugby Association. Big deal for Wrestling League. And so go over there to check more information out about that. If you want to check out Eric some more, he is over on Instagram at Eric Chase 2. And then over on Twitter at Eric Chase 22. Eric, thanks so much for being on.
Yeah,
Really
thank you,
appreciate
Joe.
it, man. Good to see you. Tell the family I
You
said
too.
hi. And take care.
Thanks,
Everyone, have a
buddy.
good week. And we'll see you back next Tuesday.
All right. See ya.